We are the partners of Solarian Games,
I'm Jason.
and I'm Peter. And this week, we're going to talk about ModCon. We're going to talk about HBGCon number 11 this weekend. The AEG chief operating officer fired over a post about AI replacing designers. And Netflix takes global rights to Ticket to Ride board game with feature as first project in development. And then we're going to wrap it all up with a bit about Total Con, because we just went this weekend and we had the Golden Fez there. We're going to stream that live right after this.
Well, recorded live.
Yes. Well, we're streaming it live, but it's pre-recorded.
We will be live streaming a pre-recorded event that we recorded live.
Yes.
Figure that one out.
Yeah, it's streaming live streaming, whatever.
Yes. All right. So where do we want to start? Let's start by talking about ModCon.
Yes.
Let's begin with that, because ModCon is coming up on the 30th, and this kind of segues into our TotalCon stuff. As we may have mentioned, our third partner in ModCon is Steve Parenteau, who is one of the organizers, officers, what's the official word? Directors of TotalCon. And so it was great. We had a nice big ModCon banner right there by the registration. I saw a ton of people checking that out. Got all the flyers sent out. Our friends Brian and Ben took a lot of flyers back to Northampton to hand around. So, we're seeing people sign up. That's looking really good. Also, we have added miniatures events to ModCon, because there was some people that wanted to run miniatures events. So we have got a number of rooms set up in this. It's a beautiful space. It's 2 floors. When you come in, there's a nice big lobby. There's a outdoor deck to kind of hang out on and look at the beautiful river out there. And the main area we've got, which is the arena upstairs. And then just next to that, we have a little room called the Safe House that can hold one huge table for miniatures events. So that's going to be really cool. And then we have the Continental also upstairs. It's kind of a VIP fancy room. I don't know what we're going to put in there yet. Something cool and fancy. Yeah. And then downstairs, we have the Crucible, which is another huge area. And off to the side of that, a smaller room with 4 tables called the Situation Room. So very cool. Going to have a lot of stuff there. And now there's going to be miniatures too. If you go to modcon.games, you can sign up to run events or to just get a badge and come play. It's going to be May 30th in Northampton, Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. It's our first con, but we have Stephen, who has done a lot of con work over the years. I mean, both with running Total Con, or one of the people running Total Con, and he I don't know if you knew this, Jason, or not, but he volunteers for Gen Con every
year.
You
go. Yep. Yeah, he knows what he is doing. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's got it together.
We wouldn't have gotten in on this if we didn't have him.
Yeah, we wouldn't know. We don't know what we're doing. Steve does. So, but yeah, it's coming along. It's looking really good. So really looking forward to seeing everybody there. And speaking of cons, this weekend is sort of a, mini con, micro con, small con, game day. It's called HBG Con. I was there at the last one, and I don't think it was a year ago.
I was going to say, how could this be a year ago? Like, it seems like it was just a couple months ago that you went.
I think they're picking maybe different dates this year. So HBG is House of Books and Games. We had Bert and Amy on here recently to talk about that. And so I didn't get it together to bring them on this time. That was just, we had so many things going on with Total Con. But I do want to tell everybody about it. So if you are in Connecticut, this is in Windsor Locks. That's just up above where the airport is in Hartford. And it's also where we went gaming. I mentioned this in the Analog Union newsletter when we went gaming at the Battle Standard. That's also up in East Windsor. So HBG Con, it's going to be held at a brewery called the Lupoletto Brewing Company. And if you're going there, it doesn't look like a brewery. It's in like a strip mall. I was so confused, but it's small, but it's cool. There's There's just here, I can actually literally read off every single event that's going to be happening, and it'll only take a few seconds because this is a 2-day at a brewery, really fun, really nice, really chill. Everything is held in the tap room. So the games that are going to be played: Draw Steel, Enclave, Scythe, Star Trek, Clank. I don't know what Clank is, but it's a board game and it sounds awesome. Cyberpunk Red, D&D, Burn 2D6, Kevin. All right, Kevin Borup. Cartoon Action Hour, Hero Quest, Ribadon 2D10. I don't know what that is.
Maybe, yeah.
Call of Cthulhu, Knave Continuing Adventure, and of course, Top Secret. All right, so that's all the games that are going to be played. There are still a few tickets for games left. I'll be there both days, but I'll be running on Sunday. And please come out. It would be fun to see you.
Yeah, that's a good list of games. I mean, I know a good chunk of these. Like Scythe, I've never played Scythe, but I really want to play it. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Every time I've seen pictures of it, I'm just like, oh, I want to play that.
Yeah, the place is really nice. There's one big room with some long tables and a bunch of smaller tables. There are tables that are accessible. Some are up high, some are down low for everybody to get to. And I had a blast last time. Looking forward to it again. And of course, Bert and Amy are just the best. So should be good.
Yeah. All right, cool. Very cool. Oh, all right. And now we got I don't even know what you call this story.
I don't know. It's a story. Well, who knows? So usually we go back and forth. You do a story, I do a story, but we wanted to stick this in the middle because I don't want to end on a downer. Let's put the downer in the middle. I don't know if it's a downer, but it's just
it's not good news. Let's put it that way.
Right. So AEG, Alderac Entertainment Group, great big tabletop gaming company. And when you are that big, you have a CEO, you have a COO, you have all that stuff. And when you're a corporate officer at that level, the things that you say carry extra weight. So Ryan Dancy, I'll just spoiler alert, Ryan Dancy was the chief operating officer at AEG. This was really interesting. Last week, he put up a post that was sort of philosophical about, what could AI do? And the first post wasn't necessarily the worst, but he mentions, I have zero reason that an AI couldn't come up with a bunch of good ideas for games. I'm not going to read this whole thing verbatim, but he basically said, people have ideas for games, but so does AI. And he was basically saying, I don't see what's so special about humans. We could use AI for things too. He wasn't saying that they're going to. He was just philosophizing. But, when you philosophize about something, when you run a company where people depend upon you for their livelihood and they wonder what their jobs are going to be like, and people who buy your games also wonder that, if you just sort of casually mention that maybe robots can do what people can do, and why do you need all these people? Well, it means more than if you're just somebody who works there.
Yeah.
And there's probably more to this. I did read on some Reddit forums and things like that Ryan Dancy has a background of other things that maybe they weren't too happy about. But since I haven't done the research, I'm not going to mention those. We were so busy with TotalCon. But the important thing is that, so he put this post up one day, and then the very next day, he puts up another post, and he says, this morning, John Zinsser, the CEO, and I talked about the aftermath of my post yesterday about the ability of AI to create ideas for games. He's decided that it's time for me to move on to new adventures. That's a good phrase for I just got canned.
Yeah, right.
He's decided I need a new adventure, i.e., I've been fired. He says, sorry to have things end like this. I've enjoyed my 10 years, blah, blah, blah. And then he gets into this whole thing where he sort of tries to feel sorry for himself about saying, like, can't I talk about things? And for the record, I don't believe that AI will replace the work, blah, blah, blah. Too little, too late. At that point, the pitchforks and torches were out. And as I say, I don't think they came out because people loved him already and just changed their minds. I think there was some background there. But
yeah.
In any case, this is a big thing for one of the largest tabletop gaming companies to react that fast to something like this, I think what it says more than anything is it talks about the zeitgeist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are we thinking as a hobby, as an industry, as a whatever you want to call it? There's a lot of people that are concerned about the idea that this industry, which is all about human creativity and fun, and should not be about maximizing shareholder value and maximum efficiency, that people don't want to see that. They want to see people making things and having fun. So that really says it.
There's also another point to this, is that, you know, when you're in a position where people look to you for guidance or whatever, right? One of the things you should never really do, in my opinion, this is my opinion completely, something it's what I live by basically, is don't talk about hot button issues in public.
Yeah.
Because if you're a nobody, that's fine. Like if nobody's worrying about you for your paycheck or for their paycheck, or you're not a public figure or whatever, talk about whatever you want. But when you're in a position of power, you should probably avoid hot button issues as much as you can, especially if you're just pontificating. You know what I mean?
And I think you just nailed it, which is that context matters in these cases. And when you're in a position of power, the things you do have a different context than when you're not.
Right.
So it's not just this. There's a lot of things that, you know, maybe somebody who's not in a position of power can do, and somebody who is should not. And I agree. Hot button issues like that, if you want to pontificate, if you haven't figured out your actual corporate stance or whatever it is, have those discussions in private with your friends, with your colleagues. Correct. Work it out. And then when you guys have decided what you as a company, what your position is, then talk about it.
Right.
And if it's a hot button issue, that's fine, but make sure the whole company has already understood. You know, if you have a company with 100 people working for you, I don't know how big Alderac really is, but let's say it's 100 people. Don't spring it on them in a post, you know, be like, hey, let's get the whole team together and talk about, we've been having these discussions and we think we are not going to allow AI, or we are going to use it this way, or whatever it is. Let the people who work there have the discussion too.
And let's put it into more perspective. He's not just a supervisor. He's not just in a high position. He is the COO, the operating officer, which dictates how the company is going to do things, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're saying AI might, do this or that, it's like, wait a minute, you're the guy that says how we do things. Are you saying that's how we're going to do things? So,
right.
Right.
So word to the wise, if you're in a position like that, think about your words. Make sure that you mean what you say, and that people. This is one other thing that's a little bit of a button for me, is sometimes I'll hear people say, well, I'm just going to say what I'm going to say, and it's up to other people to understand me. Now, it's a two-way street. No. Right. People, it's the job of the speaker to communicate clearly, and the job of the listener to make sure they understood clearly. It's not just one person's job. Both people have to do this. And I don't think he was considering how his words were going to be understood.
I mean, are you saying communication, like as in both people need to
as in a dialogue, two people?
As in two?
Yes, right. Not a monologue. So,
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, never heard of him before. Not anything about him personally or about his company, but I think this says a lot about the zeitgeist and how you should behave if people look to you for answers.
Never heard of him before. And Jason kind of sounds like never hear of him again.
Probably not. Probably not.
Right. Let's go on to the next one.
Let's go to a fun one.
Yeah, Ticket to Ride board game has been acquired by Netflix.
The rights.
The rights.
Yeah, they're not making the board game.
No. The rights to do stuff with it. So they're going to turn it into a feature film now, and potentially a TV series. Now, I'm having a hard time understanding how you're going to take Ticket to Ride and turn it into a movie. But,
yeah.
I mean, it's not impossible to imagine how you would do that. It's just interesting how IPs are becoming, entertainment, and like the Jungle Cruise became a movie with The Rock and just the Pirates of the Caribbean. So it's not
a ride got turned into a
right. It's not inconceivable right?
Mhm.
That you could do something really cool with it. Because I did really, really enjoy the first Pirates of the Caribbean. The rest of them were kind
It's
of
a
hit or
yeah, I
miss,
don't remember the other ones,
but
so
I
that
like the
probably
first one
says
a
something.
lot.
Yeah, it was great. It's a great movie, and even though it's Disney, I think it belongs, in some sort of canon of
Yeah,
good
no,
movies.
it's really good. And
Yeah.
I never saw the Jungle Cruise. It did not appeal to me whatsoever.
I don't even know what that is.
It's one of the rides, and
It's another ride?
it's a Disney World. Yeah.
Okay.
So
But that's the thing, is that a movie can be made out of anything. You could make it out of just a sentence you heard somewhere. It's just a question of
right.
how far you want to go with it. There's an image that they shared. This image I think is coming from Netflix, that just shows 4 people sitting on a train playing Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, this looks kind of suspiciously AI generated to me, but
It does a little bit, but
just because they all have stupid looks on their faces, which
Yeah.
is what AI always does. It always puts the stupidest looks on people's faces.
yeah, but then again, it might have been somebody saying, "Okay, everybody smile," and you're just like, "Okay, I'm smiling."
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it kind of reminds me of those commercials, or even the back of boxes of games back in the 80s, and they would always show the whole family sitting
Mhm.
around, looking like they would never look. So
Yeah.
who cares? I don't care how they made it. It's not my problem.
Right.
But the point is, it shows 4 people in very modern clothing, looking like a family, I think, or maybe who knows, um, sitting on a train that looks very old, like
Old.
very
Yeah.
old Orient Express kind of. There's a shaded little lamp and all that. So I have no idea. Are they going to set this in the modern age and people go into oldie times, or is this just, who knows? Maybe they don't even know what it's going to look like yet. Maybe this is just some artist making a thing.
And it's hard to tell because like if it was Disney, you could probably almost predict how it was going to be made because
Yeah.
Disney has their style and we're all
Yeah.
used to that style. Um, Netflix, I mean, they're kind of all over the place. Who knows? Is it going to be
Yeah.
old? Is it going to be new? Is it going to be a serious drama? Is it going to be fun?
I think the one thing we can be sure of is that if people really like it, they're going to cancel it.
Probably.
That's the first thing we know, is that if they make something really good that takes a little time to build up an audience and the critics think it's awesome and they have super fans, they're going to cut that thing. They're going to cut it.
So
I love the game, though. I mean, that's the thing. I think Ticket to Ride is one of the most fun board games because it fits in that nice area between gamer and non-gamer.
This is one of the ones I have played. I've actually played this one because I'm always like, oh, I've never played. I got to play Munchkin for the first time, and it's
Yeah.
like, what?
Oh, that was so fun playing with you for the first time and I love that you got the gazebo card.
Yeah.
That is so good. The first time player should always get the gazebo card.
Yeah. Well, another thing that's interesting is that this also follows. I didn't know this, but they also have Catan. Like apparently that's going to be a property as well that they're going to do
Well,
something
now I
with.
could see that. Settlers of Catan, you could totally see how to make a series out of that.
Yeah.
And Puerto Rico would make a good series.
Yeah.
There's a lot of board games that are very popular that would make good shows. Ticket to Ride is very basic. So I'm speaking as if everybody knows what it is, but if there's somebody who doesn't, what it is, it's very simple. You're running a railroad and you're trying to create train lines from one city to another, and other people are trying to get their train lines from other cities to other cities, and you can block each other from getting there. So there's not a lot to it. That's basically it. You make some train lines and you try to get them where they go.
If I remember correctly, you're also trading goods and stuff, right?
No.
Okay. Oh, maybe it's a different train game I played.
Yeah, no, this is just it's a Euro game. You can see in the picture they put an accurate picture of the game in here. You've got the score track that runs around the outside, marking it as a Euro game. But there's no resource management. There's none of that. There's just, I have lines that I need to fill. It's almost like a trick-taking game in that sense, because you're trying to get the right cards that have the right colors for you to put your trains down.
I got to play more board games, man. Too much RPGs. I really got to play some more board games.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's fun to do. It's just hard to find people who have the same likes that you do.
You know what I want to see, though? I want to see somebody acquire the property to Car Wars and make that a movie. And before anyone says anything about like, oh, didn't they do that with Road Warrior? No, Road Warrior was not Car Wars. Car Wars is actually like a sporting event. It's really cool. I think that would be just awesome if they did that.
It would be really fun. The closest thing anybody's ever done is like Death Race 2000.
Yeah.
But that's, completely different thematically. It's different attitude.
That's all right, because we are going to be doing that.
Yes. We're going to
eventually
acquire a major Hollywood studio and make the Car Wars movie with an $800 million budget.
No. We are scraping the serial numbers off of that.
Nice. All right. So, if anybody's got an idea of how Ticket to Ride could be a TV show, let us know, because obviously I'm not a Hollywood media mogul because I can't think of how to do it.
Right. All right. Hey, we went somewhere this weekend.
Yeah, we did. We went to our favorite convention.
Yeah, and it was a good time. I mean, it's
a big year. This was the 40th anniversary of TotalCon. I don't think anybody from the beginning of TotalCon is still anywhere around anymore, are they?
They are. No.
Who was?
Steve. So Steve's been there since 3.
Okay, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. But there's a guy, Wes, and I see him every year. I don't know if you know him or not, but Wes has been to every single one of them. But
he didn't run it.
Oh, no. He didn't run it.
That's what I meant. Anybody who was running it at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But TotalCon started out as, oh my gosh, what was it called before?
I can't remember. It was a different con, and it was for 2 years. It was a different con.
Yeah. But the thing is that there were D&D modules published by before it was TotalCon. Yeah. And some of those are actually in great demand. I mean, they're very kind of collector's items. It's got quite a history to it, especially in the Northeast, obviously, but just in general.
Yeah, and so we went up. We did a lot of different things. Like we went up as Solarian, and we had our booth, and we ran games, and we had our room, like we always do. But we also did interviews. So I brought Mike Kafis with me and Will, and the two of them, me, Mike Kafis, and Will basically headed up the interview portion of things. Jason and I and Mary pretty much headed up the vendor room. We all kind of contributed to the game room. And so one of the things that Mike was doing, and he brought all this crazy equipment, dude, it was unbelievable. He comes over to my house, and within the last year, he's bought so much more equipment. I'm talking like professional. You saw some of the cameras he was using, right? It was just crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he wants to do like that as a side gig, is doing like videos for people and stuff. So he wants to make this his sort of like demo reel. So I was like, all right, man. I was like, but you're heading it up, because if this is your thing, then you're doing it. But anyway, he's going to be doing a video, basically a documentary type video on what is TotalCon. So he was filming all kinds of stuff. He was doing like on the street interviews. He's going to get that history. So if you want to know more about TotalCon, he's going to have that history in there. He's going to do a whole thing on that. And then we also interviewed a bunch of the guests. Jason was going to be a guest, except the blizzard was coming on, so we had to roll out.
Blizzard, in quotes.
Well, no. I mean, hold on. It was a blizzard for those of us that had to drive past New York, because New York got slammed with like 20 inches of snow. So if you were trying
20 inches isn't slammed. 20 inches is like it's a little baby snow.
Yeah, but it can be a little difficult to drive in if you.
No, what Scott got on the way home was a blizzard.
Oh, that was serious.
So Scott Congable, I don't know if he's watching tonight or not, because he's just had a long drive. Yeah, but everybody knows Scott Congable is the premier top secret administrator, runner, not the original capital A administrator. That's Merle. But he drove back to the Midwest and was actually going through stuff where he saw semis flipping over.
I was reading that. I was like, oh my God.
Like, that's a blizzard.
Didn't he say he personally saw 3 semis get flipped over?
Yeah, he didn't see 3 semis on the side of the road. He saw the flipping over of 3 semis. Who knows how many more, So that's crazy. we had snow here. The snow came up about to my knees.
So we had nothing here. We had like 3 inches.
So I don't know how tall are my knees. My knees are, I can't tell.
Oh, so you got some good snow.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's nothing.
Right.
That's little baby snow. That's like 1 or 2 feet. Well, real snow is like 4 or 6 feet.
You lived in Iowa, so you have a different perspective on this.
Real snow. It took me a while to dig out today, but then other than that, I was fine. But anyways, but the point is, yeah, a lot of people had to leave early because of the blizzard. You wouldn't want to drive through it if you didn't have to.
No, especially when
It's
it's
not
like
going to kill you, but it sucks.
especially when you've already got a 6-hour drive, and I didn't want to hit New York.
No, you were right to do what you did.
Yeah,
you were right to do what you did, and so I don't mind. I didn't get interviewed for this. I got interviewed last year by John Johnson. I've run out of things to say, but oh, by the way, I looked this up. Actually, it says here that Wes. Where did his name go? What's Wes's last name? Wes Carpentier.
Okay.
Carpentier. It's like Carpenter with an I. Carpentier. Anyways, he was the founder.
Oh, okay.
According to the TotalCon website. So there you go.
All right.
But
he was probably the one that took it over from the guy that had the game store. So the first 2 years before it was called TotalCon, it was started by a guy who owned a game store, and he was trying to get people to come to his game. He was trying to do it as a marketing thing, a promotion thing. And after 2 years, it wasn't really meeting his goals. So he's like, And then I guess that was at the point where Wes took it over and said, no, well, we're going to rename it TotalCon and we're going to keep it going.
Right. And Total Confusion is what he officially called it. And it's officially called that. But yeah, so I still don't know what it was called before, but it doesn't matter. Where were we with all of this? We left early on Sunday, but it was a great event. So happy to see everybody there. We played a lot of great games, and I was most excited by the chance to play En Garde. And I have to tell you, I asked you, do you want to come play En Garde? And I asked about like 8 people, and I am so glad none of you showed up, because I'm so glad you didn't, because the only people who did was Brian and Ben. So Brian Larkin, who runs ArcaneCon.
Yep.
And I brought with me the original 1975 copy of En Garde that was written basically at almost at the same time as Dungeons and Dragons. Nobody had any idea what a role-playing game was yet. And it's only kind of a role-playing game. They didn't call it that. It gets called that retroactively. They called it a simulation game. And it originally was just, this is a bunch of nerdy war gamers who geek out on tables and realism and everything else. And it was originally just a set of rules for dueling in 17th century France. And then they sort of expanded it out. So the book it's confusing, because you think the first page will be character creation, but the first page is dueling rules. And then they're like, oh, by the way, you can create a character.
Oh, God. All right.
And as we're digging through this thing, I'm suddenly remembering, oh yeah, when I've played it before, somebody brings all the tables printed out so everybody has a copy, and all the character sheets ready to go, and all this other stuff. And we're just all huddled around this little digest size 50-year-old book, trying to make sense out of something that was typed up by a guy wearing a big, military hat and smoking a pipe, probably.
Right.
And half of the fun that we had was the fact that we had no idea how to play it. So we're just like trying to figure out the rules. These two guys love that kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff. Everybody else would have been frustrated and thrown things at us.
Right.
You guys would have been throwing things at our heads.
Right. So I think I was trying to remember why I didn't show up, because I wanted to play. I was like, yeah, that sounds great. I think I was helping Mike pack up and stuff.
Yeah. Plus, remember that night we were doing
Golden Fez
afterwards. Yeah. So, and then David Benavides had a game at that time, and other things. Yeah. So what came out of it was that Brian and Ben and I have decided that we're gonna figure this thing out. We did play it. It was pretty fun. We even had a duel. I killed Brian's character and I stole his mistress.
Okay.
So it went pretty good like that. But yeah, we're going to figure this thing out. I actually emailed the person who currently publishes it. He's helping me with questions about the rules.
Okay.
And we're going to figure this thing out. We're going to be running En Garde games from now on.
So, yeah, so then we did the Golden Fez, and it went really well. I did. So just so you know, I mean, and we'll tell the rest of the audience, because this is the first time you and I have even had a chance to talk about this, because we just, we drove home yesterday and all that. Yeah. I know you were saying we should get a PA system. I agree. I wanted to bring up, I have some speakers that are like professional speakers I was going to bring up, but they
Yeah,
weren't.
because at the beginning I was doing the tapping the glass
Yeah,
thing. And I think I
yeah.
scared the crap out of the entire bar because like everybody at the bar turned around. I had no idea how loud you could be with one of those.
Yeah,
You could be loud.
So I've got some plans and we'll talk about it. But if you were there, if you're watching this and you attended the Golden Fez, you know, it went well. It was fine. The people there, I'm sure they enjoyed it.
Thank
But
you to Hanai
yeah,
for
oh,
you know
big time,
running the slideshow. Thank you to Mary for helping to MC the whole things, and to Mike and Will for doing all the AV Club stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, so I got some ideas. Like I really think so. When you're watching this, you're gonna see like our framing, like we're not in the frame half the time and all that kind of stuff because we don't know.
We didn't put our marks on the floor. We didn't know where to be.
Right.
I'm just wandering around.
I got an idea for how we fix all of that, and it'll be much more professional next year.
Yeah, but you know what? It's all about just keeping the tradition going, doing it every year, learning from each time.
Right.
So and we will do it. We'll do a PA system so everybody can hear us. I'd like to do it earlier in the night because a lot of people didn't show up because they simply didn't want to stay up that late.
Right. And it doesn't have to be in the bar. The bar is cool because they got a big TV. We'll have to discuss what that means, what that looks like.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We won't stand outside in the snow, but other than that, everything's on the table other than that.
Yeah.
We won't do it in somebody's room. You know, we won't do it in the kitchen. But basically, we have a lot of options.
Right. And you guys will see this in a few minutes. We're going to run the video live. So I got it and I did a bunch of editing to it. So I took all the audio tracks we had, and unfortunately, so if you guys like when you're watching this, if the audio is a little hanky here and there, just a little bit, it will be a tiny bit. For some reason the audio tracks were like messing with me, so I had to fix some stuff on it, but it should be 99% good.
You sure it's not just going to be a blooper reel of just me screaming the F word at the laptop over and over again?
No, I think
the whole bar, the whole hotel turned around with the loudness of my profanity at that laptop.
The laptop was messing with you.
Well, no, the laptop was fine. The laptop was good. It was Adobe Acrobat. It decided we were going to show everything using Acrobat to show the PDF. And for whatever reason, some brain genius at Adobe has decided whenever you show something on the screen, it's going to use AI to give a description of the picture you're looking at.
It's like,
no, and it's going to include the words generated with AI to explain the description. So what it did was we could not get rid of this. There was this big thing that said generated with AI, as if we had an AI.
It was like, there was no AI. Trust me.
Brain geniuses.
Trust me. I spent like several days putting that shit together by hand. There was no AI.
And you did a great job, by the way. You know, as Solarian's chief designer myself, and as critic of all things design, you did a very good job.
Yeah, you know what? You are very critical when it comes to design, and when you said it was a good design, I took it. I took it as a big compliment.
Yes.
But yeah, so you're gonna see that in a few minutes, and it was really good, and I'm
so happy with all the winners, you know, because we have a judging panel. I had to recuse myself from a couple of them where I knew people that were involved. So, but I think the right decisions were made all across the board.
What was wild to me was like you had said, "Hey, we know this guy." I'm like, "We do? I didn't know that." so it was very important. Trust me, if there are some connections here, but it's only because we connect with really talented people. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe we'll end up eventually getting a judging panel that doesn't involve any of us, so there's no chance of us knowing them. But I will promise to you that if there's anybody who knew anybody, the judge was recused for that particular vote.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the one guy shows up and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were going to be here. Do we know you?" You know, so that was cool. It was cool.
Right. You didn't know because he just recently joined the Analog Union.
Yeah.
AnalogUnion.com, everybody.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh no, if we put this out, you're going to be like, suspicious. 2 Analog Union members won awards. Yeah, I promise you that had nothing to do with it. They didn't know.
But you know, there is also there's like a entry bias in a way, because we don't go out and get all these games. People submit them. So the people that submit them obviously know that this thing is going on, so they probably know us. So it's probably likely that we know the people who entered. So there's a little bit of that. Like, it's not every game on the market. We we didn't just go out and like, oh, I got to collect every game that came out in 2025. That's not how that works.
Although I will say that there's a number of them in here that were nominated by people that we don't have any connection to.
Right,
There was some of
correct.
that, and
Yes.
we did pull a couple in where we're like, you know what, this one just deserves to be in the running.
Yes, there were a couple where I was just like, no one submitted this, but I'm submitting it because it's a good game and it needs to be considered.
Yeah. So, with lots of further ado, should we jump to it?
Let's do it. All right. Now, I tried this in pre, so if this doesn't work, don't
Should I
yell
mute
at me.
myself?
Oh, I don't. You probably. Let's.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay. Once the video starts running, we're not going to be doing a riff tracks over the top of it.
Yeah. No. All right.
We're just going to run it.
Here we go.
Who were here last year, about the Golden Fez Awards. For those who weren't, I'll give just a brief explanation of this. So we are the partners of Solarian Games. And time earlier than last year, I'm bad with the months and everything, but there were three of us that were partners originally, and we sadly lost our third partner and founder, James Carpio. And so for last year, TotalCon was very generous to host a memorial and to host the first Golden Fez Awards to celebrate James's life and everything that he loved about gaming. And we did this to create a bunch of awards that focused on the different aspects of tabletop gaming that James loved the most. So this is our second annual award. We have mostly the same categories as before, with I think one new one and one that's gone away. Yeah. So for each one of these, you're going to see, we'll explain what they are, but let's go ahead and get started with the first award.
Hi.
I've got the list.
Yeah.
All right. I've got glasses too.
Step up the list.
All right. So the first category in the Golden Fez Awards is the Holy Hand Grenade, and this is for the best new game mechanic. So these are the nominees for the Holy Hand Grenade Award. We have Days of Future Fairhaven, which is by Ham and Egg Publishing. The next nominee is Land of Een by Exalted Funeral Press. And the third nominee is Netcrawl Arcologies from Horse Shark Games. And the winner, just a moment please. And the winner of the Holy Hand Grenade Award for the best new game mechanic is Netcrawl Arcologies by Horse Shark Games.
Wow.
Oh, and here is Jay.
God damn it. Thank you, fucking Golden Fez. Y'all rule. Thank you so much. Couldn't have done it without the artists. Daniel Vega, Codex Normatic. That's like the sweet spot. Can't thank him enough.
All right. Here's your award, sir. Awesome. Thanks so much. Thank you. Yeah, man.
We're lucky that James was here tonight for his award. Not every nominee is here, so sometimes we'll just say, here's the award, but that was that one.
All right, so our next award is the Pick Up and Play, the easiest game to learn. So, our nominees are Black Flies from Goosebump Games, Once Upon a Time from Erie Games, and Treasured Possession from Verdant Games. And the award goes to the Pick Up and Play goes to Black Flies from Goosepoop Games. Yay! Goosepoop is here, but they're not here, I guess. So we will.
We'll just give them the award later.
We'll give them the award later.
Thanks to the blizzard, some folks have left already. Who's next? Are you Jay? Are you Peter?
I said, all right. This next award
is a new one, and this is a really fun one. We actually came up with this name on our show, and it's called Honey, I Shrunk the Dice, and it's for the best micro game. Now, this is a game that can fit on one sheet of paper or a bookmark, but it never more than one sheet of paper. Our nominees are Cage Mage by Cannibal Fez, Dead Trees by Goose Poop Games, and Lich's Plot by Wyatt Andrews. And the winner is Cage Mage by Cannibal Fez. And the award, just in case. No.
All right, the next category is the Velvet Smooth Award. And I really like this Velvet Smooth category because one of the things about James we really loved was like exploitation films and 70s coolness, and Velvet Smooth really kind of fits with that. So we love having the Velvet Smooth Award for the best design and production. So the Velvet Smooth Award nominations are Coriolis Great Dark by Freely, Legend of the Mist by Son of Oak, and Oceana 2084 by Jotcha Games. Is Legend of the Mist by Son of Oak.
All right, our next one is Hack the Planet, the most unexpected idea. The nominees are Doom Song by Jack Caesar, Treasured Possessions by Vernon Core, and Wilderfeast by Horrible Kills. And the award winner is for Hack the Planet, Doom Song by Jack Caesar.
All right, this next award is one of my favorites because I love mechanics and I love combat in games. It's the Bucket of Blood for Best Combat Rules. Our nominees are Coriolis, The Great Dark by Free League, Legend in the Mist by Son of Oak, and Mythic Bastionland by Bastionland Press. And the winner is Mythic Bastionland by Bastionland Press. Congratulations. Woo! Bring it out.
All right, we are now to the penultimate award, the last before the last. This is the Forge of Destiny Award for the best world building. And the nominees are Grimwild by Oddity Press, Perilous Void by Lampblack and Brimstone, and The Shrike by Joel Hines. And the winner, which is stuck together, hold on. The winner is The Shrike by Joel Hines.
All right, now for the Mac Daddy, the big one, the Golden Fez Game of the Year Award. Nominees are Coriolis, The Great Dark by Free League, Doom Song by Jack Caesar, and Weird Heroes of Public Access, Get Haunted Industries. And the winner of the Golden Fez is Weird Heroes of Public Access, Get Haunted Industries. Woo! So where's Joey?
Joey had to roll. Couldn't stay.
Wimps! Wimps!
you want to do the wrap-up? Thanks.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Well, the award is another great year of awards. A lot of great games. Every game was really good. You know, everyone that made the finals, especially. And it can be really hard to pick games. You know, we fight over them sometimes a little bit, but I feel really good about the winners this year. So.
Yep.
And this goes out to James.
We really feel these are the games that James would have picked.
Yeah, we still love you, buddy. So, everybody, you know, game on, right?
Thank you.
We're thinking about your submissions for 2027.
Yep. Start now so you can get judged early.
So we don't have to cram.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, we're back, and you're on mute. Remember, we muted ourselves for this. Okay.
Oh, I muted my speaker. That's right. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
There you go. Hopefully, I'm not muted.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right. Well,
So,
congratulations to all of the winners. And so this year's Golden Fez Game of the Year, Weird Heroes of Public Access. I did not vote on that one, and it deserved it 100%.
Yeah, you know, it was funny because that one it was a real toss up at the end there, and it just you have to take that into consideration. Like what when you say golden, like the Golden Fez, the best game of the year, it's just everything. Like it doesn't have to win anything in general. It's the entire envelope, you know, of what makes a good game. And honestly, I'm really confident in that one. That game is really absolutely cool, and it doesn't like. You know, like sometimes you look and say, oh, this art was better or this blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, that's all cool. Like every little piece can be better, right? But what was it in holistically? You know what I mean? So that I think that's really what Weird Heroes was. It was just the concept, the art, the delivery, every little piece of it just added up to the best game.
Yeah, 100% agree. So loved it this year. And I tell you, we're going to get a real head start on this at ModCon. We will be having a nomination box for it there. So if anybody everything that is published in this year, 2026, will be eligible for next year. I know I'm going to be putting out the word to our friends over in Ireland, especially since it was really Rory, who came up with the idea for the pick for the Honey I Shrunk the Dice Awards. And so hopefully we'll get some cool stuff from overseas as well.
And I'm confident that next year will be even better because one of the things that we did, you know, when we got to TotalCon, we sat down and we talked about, hey, how could we make this better? And one of the things that's going to make it 1 billion times better is you and I are not running it next year.
Right.
Mary is going to run it, and we are going to assist her in doing that. So, because Jason and I are so like we're all over the place. We're doing so much.
It's too much. I have to get rid of a few things, but yeah.
So we have delegated, and Mary was more than happy to take it over. And so I guarantee you because she's going to head it up and she's going to be dedicated to it. It's going to be probably 3 times as good as we did this year.
Yeah, for sure. So, hey, thanks everybody for sticking around, watching that with us just now, and also for showing up on a Monday instead of a Sunday. Appreciate you, and we will see you on Sunday at 9 p.m. next week.
Yep. And we're doing a Discord this week.
Yeah, we'll pop in there after this.
All right.
So if you're a Patreon subscriber, you can come into the Discord, and if you're not, you should be one.
Yeah. Absolutely. Even at the free level, just try.
Yeah, but you can't come in at the free level.
I know, but there's good stuff on the free level. Just
there's no S in the champagne room. You got to pay.
Right. All right, y'all. We'll see you next week.
Good night.